Ah, Christmas time! Don't y'all just love Christmas time? It's the time where there's lots of snow. There's so much snow that I'm just dying of all the snow that there is on the ground. And Christmas time is also the time for Christmas themed videos. But I have no idea how to make one of those. So I'm gonna take a normal video and put Christmas in it, and boom, it's a Christmas video. How to make Christmas videos 2017. And for this year's Christmas video, we're gonna make a list of my favorite video games of all time. How many of them? I don't know. Let's do 10 of them. We're doing 10, I guess. Top 10 favorite video games of all time. I know it's cringy, sue me. I'm starting off my list with Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. If I've got to be honest, it was hard deciding between this game and Far Cry 3. I like the atmosphere in Far Cry 3 better, and the gunplay overall. But in the end, I chose Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon for two reasons. One, the game was goofy as all hell. If you don't understand what I mean by that, just play the game and you'll know what I mean. And two, I just like the story better than I did in Far Cry 3. It may have been really short compared to Far Cry 3's, but it's just better, and I like the character of Rex better than I did Jason. In the end, what they were going for in this game was goofiness, and I just like that better than the more serious tone of Far Cry 3. Dishonored II. Now, I'm not sure if I put this one here because I've been playing it a lot recently, but it's my list, so it's my rules. But in all seriousness, this game does deserve its spot being a good sequel to a good game. I like that you could choose to play as Corvo or Emily in the beginning, and that they had different powers depending on who you picked. And that, to me, gave it more replayability. It's got better combat than the first one, a pretty damn good story, added lore, and some cool game mechanics, like being able to knock out your enemies from above. Speaking that I only recently got this game, I'd say that Bethesda didn't disappoint, although some people would disagree. To some people, it was a trash sequel. And to them, I say, fuck you! For number 8, we have Titanfall. Titanfall is by far one of my favorite FPS games, and one of the big reasons why is because of how fast-paced it is. It's much faster than any Call of Duty game, and because of that, it pretty much eliminates camping. Yes, there will be people who find flaws in the map, and will try to do their best to camp, but for the most part, it doesn't work. You always have to be on your toes, because anything could happen at any moment. Not only that, but the gameplay is just plain fun. I like being able to get into a giant killing machine and destroy everything in my path. Or until another killing machine destroys mine. I don't like it when that happens. And I know what some of you people are gonna say. Giant killing machines aren't new, you could just use the Goliath from Advanced Warfare. Number 1, Titanfall came out before Advanced Warfare. And number 2, the Titans are just better. In Advanced Warfare, you need a kill streak in order to get that shit. And not to mention that it makes an already OP person even more OP. I could go on a rant on how bad the Goliath is compared to the Titan, but I'm not gonna do that. They're just fucking worse. Super Mario 64! I always love to talk about Mario 64. It always brings me joy to play the game. It's fun, it's cheerful, at times. I'm looking at you, Boost Castle. You scared the living shit out of me when I was a kid, but I can always go for some Mario 64. Whenever I'm feeling down, Mario 64 will make me feel better. I mean, come on, who doesn't like stretching Mario's face? Although I've never gotten all 120 stars, it's still always fun to start a new file and go get the early ones. But recently, I've been playing the DS remake, which I think is pretty good too. I don't like the bottom map and how they show you where all the stars are. It just ruined some of the fun for me. And it also ruined the never-ending staircase! You think I know how that shit was done before the DS remake? Nintendo, you done fucked up! At number 6 is Fallout 4. I was a bit skeptical and excited for Fallout 4 before I got it, and when I did get it, I was not disappointed. It was so amazing that I bought it twice! Once on Xbox and once on PC. A lot of people harped on the story, saying it was shit and that Bethesda focused more on gunplay. And though I will admit that they did put more focus on gunplay than they did in Fallout 3, I still really loved the story. The only major issue I really had was that dialogue options were a bit vague. You didn't really know what you were saying until it was said. Like, you didn't know if sarcastic meant, haha, you're silly, or I'm gonna blow your fucking head off. But to be honest, I'd usually just blow their head off anyway. Dishonored. Now, I know that Dishonored 2 was earlier on the list, but this game franchise is just so fucking good. I also know that I praised Dishonored 2 for having better gameplay, and it does, but Dishonored had a better overall story. I like the idea of hunting down Dowd, and the fact that after you've hunted him, the story takes a huge plot twist and makes it bigger than just hunting down the Empress's killer. I also love the DLC. I like how Dowd has a follow-up story that you get to play through, and how he shows regret for killing the Empress. Not only that, but your goal for the DLC is to hunt down Delilah, who is also the main antagonist for the next game. It was cool how they connected Dishonored and Dishonored 2, and that if you played the DLC for Dishonored 1, you knew exactly who Delilah was from the start. All in all, you may argue that Dishonored 2 is better than the first one, but the simple fact is, you're wrong! Although Breath of the Wild is super new, it's still on the list, and this high up because of how good it was. Just like everybody else, I was super pumped for this game before its release. This game changed up the Zelda formula, for the better. Now it's a true open world, and feels different from any previous entry. The part that I really liked was the characters felt so much more humanized. I felt attached to all the characters, and enjoyed the story a lot more because of that. The only part of the game I really hated was the Lost Woods. It was so confusing that every time I went through it, I had to look up a walkthrough. Nintendo, do me a favor and don't make the Lost Woods next to impossible on your next Zelda game. Thanks! And number 3 is The Walking Dead. Now this number might change because I'm in the process of playing Season 2, but as it stands right now, this is my 3rd favorite game. The choices you make really matter, and the characters you choose and get involved with start to grow on you. The characters are truly lovable, and it sucks when one of them dies. I love the choices you make, the ability to choose, and at the end of the game, which I won't spoil, was the closest to crying I've ever been in any game. It's a great game, and if you want to be attached to fictional characters in a shitty, zombie-driven fictional world, this game is for you. Fallout 3 is a good game, despite what most people would say. Though I have said this many times in this video, I love the story to this game. The gunplay wasn't great, but it was really the story that made the game for me. I also got stuck at the end of the game and was forced to start a new file because I didn't have the DLC. That kinda sucked. The open world was really nice. I felt like I was exploring a game version of what the world would be like if it got nuked. If I wanted a more realistic version, I would have put the original Fallout up here, but that game really wasn't my cup of tea. I love Fallout 3 to bits. Even though it crashes an absurd amount on Windows, it's still my 2nd favorite game. It would be my favorite, if not for... The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This game is by far, and without a doubt, my favorite game of all time. The game is very dark and depressing, while still maintaining the bright colors of a happy Zelda game. Majora's Mask is bigger than itself. Not only is it fun and challenging, but it has topics that can be understood from perspectives of children and adults. I like the 3-day mechanic. It makes it so that you have to memorize schedules and what people are doing that day. It also makes you feel like you're stuck in time and can't move forward. The game is just amazing, and it captures the feel of what I just said pretty much perfectly. I love the 3D remake as well. It doesn't feel as dark and depressing, but it's still a solid remake and very fun to play. Honestly, I don't think there's another game out there that can capture the feel of this quite like this game has done it. It's just amazing, and I love it to pieces. And with that, I don't think there's too much I can say that hasn't already been said, so I'll just leave you with this. Video games are good. Go and play them! Alright, so that's gonna have to do it for my Christmas special video. I apologize that it's coming out so late because it took me a very long time to make, but I tried to make sure it got out before 2018, so I did you that favor. Anyways, that's gonna do it, so I guess hit like and subscribe and stuff like that, you know. It's buttons. Hit them. Maybe I'll do something like this in the future. I mean, I kinda had fun making it, although it did take me a very long time. I'll do it again if you guys want me to. Alright, so I'll just see you all in the next video then. Bye!